What's up, everybody? This is Joe Torres or Joe Della Torre or whatever you want to call me. But I wanted to do this video because for some of you guys that have ever dealt with pain, trauma, you've dealt with regret, or you felt like you needed to get revenge on somebody. For some of you guys that don't know, some of you guys know me personally know this, but the people that don't know me personally, about 6-7 months ago, I went through a lot of trauma, a lot of pain, a lot of negativity, a lot of downfalls. It's like my life went to a halt, and it took a lot of soul searching. It took a lot of me to really think about the bigger picture of what I want from life and what I want from business and et cetera, et cetera. And the thing that helped me, which I did a video on it, but I didn't really go into much detail. And what helped me the most is when I read a book called The 4 Agreements. And the premise, which I'm going to go over in detail on this video, is pretty simple, yet most people don't follow it. And most people, when told it, it's hard for them to follow, because for some of you guys for most of you that know this, most people, let's be honest, live in a world of drama. They live in a world of opinions. They live in a world of assumptions. The one thing that's funny about assumptions is that you only make an ass out of you and me when you assume. Why more people don't ask? You know what I'm saying? When someone is talking about you or saying something about you, instead of you just taking that person's word for it, why not go have a conversation with that person, right? Because as we know, there's always two sides to every story, and you can't judge someone or make an opinion or an assumption until you've actually had a conversation with them, right? Most people live in anger, right? There's a lot of people that have a lot of built up anger that they've been living off of, and it's kind of toxic. They kind of bring everybody in that little world of theirs. Most people live in envy. Most people live with jealousy. Most people live with hate. Anybody that doesn't believe that, you're living in a whole other world. You might be ignoring it, but at the end of the day, most people live in the things that I just said: drama, opinions, assumptions, anger, envy, jealousy, and hate. If you guys are on here, just say what's up, say hello. So I highly recommend that you guys read this book. And you don't have to be an entrepreneur for this book to help you. This book is more about life than it is about being in a business, right? And I posted a couple things about it, but I want to really talk about it in depth. So this video is long, so even if you can't finish it all, come back, watch it again, save it, so that you guys can really take this. Because I believe that if you follow these things and follow what I learned and how it helped me deal with pain, trauma, and how to not feel like I need to seek revenge, you guys will love what I'm about to talk about in this video. So one thing I want to say is it's called The 4 Agreements, right? It's by a guy named Miguel Ruiz, or as someone told me, it might be Don Miguel Ruiz. Doesn't matter, okay? First thing is he talks about is being impeccable with your word. And when I mean be impeccable with your word, so many of us lie, and so many of us bullshit, and we sugarcoat, and we go around the truth, when at the end of the day, we don't want to just deliver truth, because we know that truth is painful, right? Truth is painful. It's easier to live the lie because I want to believe that. I want to believe the lie because it's easier for me, right? You never want to be accountable to what you've done. You always want to blame everybody else of what they did, and you always want to forget what about you, right? So being impeccable with your word means a couple of things, and I'm going to go through them. One word can change, one thing I know is one word can change a life or destroy lives of millions. So your words are power, not only to yourself, but to others, right? And being impeccable with your word means don't ever put yourself down. Don't ever talk about yourself in a negative form, right? Don't ever do that. So everything you feel or believe or say goes against yourself is a sin. I'm going to say that again. Everything you feel or believe or say that goes against yourself is a sin. Use your energy in the direction of truth and love for yourself. I'm going to say that again. Use your energy in the direction of truth and love for yourself. No one can love you until you fall in love with yourself, right? And that's not being cocky or arrogant. That's just knowing that you have something to offer, and you love, so that you deserve to have love in return, right? Most people use words to express anger, jealousy, envy, and hate. And if that's not true, Think about the last conversation that you had with somebody. Think about the last conversation you had with a person. Most likely, their words or what they told you, their expression came from anger, jealousy, envy, and hate, right? And it's your job to help that person to not live that, because that's not going to help them, right? Never put down your children or your spouse. How many adults do that? Put down their spouse, or they put down their children, insult them, make them second guess themselves, make them feel insecure. It's one of my biggest pet peeves, how people treat their children, how people act to their children. I know that, we make a lot of jokes when you say you ignore your child, or when they go into the next conversation, you black out. It's not cool, because what you're doing is you're telling your child at an early age that you really don't care how they feel and what they want to talk about, right? So never put down your spouse or your children. Gossip is poison. It's a virus, right? If you're getting involved in conversations that have to do with with gossip, you're spreading poison. You're spreading a virus. Even worse than COVID. Does that make sense? Don't get involved in gossip. It's so easy to, because everybody has something to say about somebody, but never want to take accountability for themselves, what they've done and what they don't do. It's easier to talk trash about somebody else, because then it makes that person feel like, well, see, I'm great because they suck. They're horrible. Really? One little piece of misinformation can break down communication between people. Meaning, the people that like to spread gossip, that little piece of misinformation breaks down communication between people that you love, people that care about you and you care about them. Why would someone do that? Why would someone want to do that? Because they want to hurt, because they're hurt. There's a thing he talks about in the book called mitote. I think I'm saying it right. Chaos of 1,000 different voices all trying to talk to once in your mind. We all suffer from this, especially women, just joking. Where we have chaos of 1,000 different voices all trying to talk in your mind at once. Sometimes we need a moment to just be at peace by yourself and really think. But some of us are so involved in your life, you're running around so much, you don't even have time to think. You don't even have time to really, really break down everything that's going on with people and with yourself. Gossiping about your loved ones in order to make your opinion right and hooking people in. That's poison. This is all about being impeccable with your word. Not just being impeccable with your word about other people, right? But with yourself, right? With yourself. But gossiping about your loved ones in order to make your opinion right, that's just hurting everybody around you. And you're hooking people in because people love drama. That's why Jersey Shore was a popular show. Your opinion comes from your beliefs, your own ego, and your own dream, right? But I want to say this. We become what we believe. We don't become what we think, right? But if you get enough things put in your head, you start to believe it, right? If enough people today tell you you look like you gained weight, even if you didn't, doesn't matter. If 3 people told you within this week that you look like you've gained weight, you're going to look at yourself and say, damn it, I might have gained weight. If enough people tell you what you're doing is right or wrong or whatever and get you to sway your own belief in yourself, your opinion comes from your beliefs, your own ego, and your own dream. Think about that. Number 2, don't take anything personal, right? This is probably the hardest thing for me, is not to take things personally. Because how can we not take things personally when someone said something, did something, or the actions hurt you in some way? It's kind of hard not to take it personal. When someone makes an opinion about you, it's kind of hard not to take it personally, because who are you to tell me or to say thee? Because none of us are perfect, none of us. For the man pointing out somebody, there's at least 5 fingers getting pointed back at you. But look, listen, you only take it personal when you agree with what the other person said, right? So this is why for the most part, I don't take things personally when it comes to people's opinion, because I am a true believer that how can I take it why do I care what you think? Only way I care what you think is if I actually value your opinion of me, right? And people do it to me all the time, right? And yes, I do take it personal. Then I sometimes have to think of myself like, who are you to tell me X, Y, Z? But you guys got to do the same, right? You only take it personal when you agree with what the other person said. right? Personal importance, it is the maximum expression of selfishness because we assume everything is about me. We assume everything is about you. I'm gonna say that again. Personal importance is the maximum expression of selfishness because we assume everything's about you. I do that a lot. I worked on it now. This is how I got out of pain, trauma, and not wanting to seek revenge. Because, again, what they say about you doesn't matter. Their opinion about you doesn't matter, right? Don't worry about what people think because they don't do it often. Nothing other people do is because of you. Let me say that. Nothing other people do to you is about you. That helps you not take things personally because when someone does something to you, you right away want to take it personally. You want to get angry. You want to get the revenge. But at the end of the day, remember, what a person does to you is not even about you. It's about them. It's about what's going on with them. They just want to bring you down. It's kind of like the crabs in the bucket. It's kind of like the misery loves company. You feel me? Personal means we assume people know our world and we try to impose our worlds to their world. Let me say that again. This book was amazing. I read it once and I didn't really grasp it. I read it again and it hit me the second time, and probably because I was going through a lot of trauma, pain, and a lot of anger, and I was going through all of these things that I talked about. And the book helped me to realize, don't do it, man. Number 2 is don't take things personally. But personal means we assume people know our world and we try to impose our world to their world. Does that make sense? Stay away from people who try to impose their poison by giving you an opinion of who you are. I'm going to say that again. Stay away from people who try to impose their poison by giving you an opinion of who they think you are. Again, it's not for you to tell me what you think I am. It's only for me to decide who I am. And once I know who I am and what I represent, it doesn't matter your opinion of me because that's your world. That's what you think. Don't let other people disrupt your world. Don't eat others' emotional garbage. Don't eat others' emotional garbage. You know, you'll have people tell you, well, I don't like this. I don't think about this person or whatever they say. Don't eat their opinions. Okay? You're going to be like that person. We all know what we're talking about. Opinions of should never affect you because you know who you are and you don't need to be accepted. You hear what I'm saying? Opinions should never affect you because you know who you are and you don't need to be accepted. Thank you, Ellie. Right? When people say hurtful things, it's not them hurting you. It's hidden words that hurt. It's not them hurting you. They're hurt. They want to hurt you because they don't like that you're not in the same place with them. You're not in drama, opinions, assumptions, anger, envy, jealousy, or hate. Always question, never assume. Always question, ask, never assume. Right? I went off the page, but I'll go back. When your point of view is personal, it's no one's truth but yours. Your point of view is personal. It's no one's truth but yours. Get out of your head and focus. Stop the war in your brain. Humans are addicted to suffering, and we support their addictions. You get what I'm saying? People are addicted to suffer because they'd rather be a victim than to have to do anything about it. Don't expect people to tell you the truth because they lie to themselves. Don't expect people to tell you the truth because they lie to themselves consistently. Do you understand? This really is about knowing who you are, not taking anything personal, really knowing who you are. If people say one thing, but to another, but to you, to yourself, if you don't listen to their actions, if people say one thing, but to another, they say something different, you to yourself, you don't listen to their actions, man. Do not listen to them. If someone doesn't treat you with love and respect, you will endure suffering. If someone doesn't treat you with love and respect, you will endure suffering. And you guys know what I'm talking about. You know who I'm talking about, right? We're all the same. There's nothing different about us. We all go through the same problems, same issues. We're all working for the same goals, right? We all got our own different things that we're doing and going for. And then everything happens, all the people around us are trying to destroy that. And once you know that those people are doing that, disconnect. If you don't need to trust others as much as you trust yourself, if to make the right decision. I'm gonna say that again. You don't need to trust others as much as you trust yourself to make the right decision. Stop looking for validation. Stop looking for someone else to tell you that's going to work. It's what you want. It's your world. It's what you decide to do. Everyone else gets in line. Now, we all say that. We all post motivational quotes, but how many of you really, really, truly follow it? You understand me? Freedom is not taking anything personal. Freedom is not taking anything personal. Think about it. If you were famous, right, and you were online, you were a famous star, and people online are talking about your hair, talking about your looks, talking about your eyeballs, the left eye's weirder. You can't, how does a celebrity able to take that? Because, again, they're not taking it personal. I think it's funny, actually. Not taking anything personal, you no longer need to trust what people say or do. By not taking anything personal, you do not have to no longer need to trust what people say or do. This is hell, but we can experience inner peace and happiness, man. This hell that we're talking about, we can experience inner peace and happiness if we do these things. Number 3, don't make assumptions. The problem with assumptions is we tend to believe to be true, right? Don't make assumptions because we tend to believe them to be true, even if they're not. Because again, it's all in your head. Assumptions is asking for problems. When you assume and don't ask the person, you're asking for problems. When you don't seek the truth by just asking the individual, you're looking for problems, right? You're looking for problems. All the sadness and drama you have lived was the assumptions and taking shit personal. All the sadness and drama you have lived was assumptions and taking shit personal. That's why you got to have a better circle. You got to be around better people that want to talk about goals and dreams and talk about living it up to the fullest, not people that are living in misery and just don't believe shit anymore. Gossip in the communication is the communication from hell, and it's transfer poison from one to another. Always question, never assume. Always question, never assume. Don't assume the person can read your mind. That's another problem people have, and I've done this many times, where when I think, why would they do that? Why would they say that? Why would they blah? I assume they can read my mind. And the vice versa. People that take shit personal or things that I say, they don't just ask. They just assume that I can read their mind. I don't know. I don't know how you're feeling. I don't know what you're thinking, right? Assumption in relationships leads to a lot of fights, right? Like you think someone's cheating on you and not really trying to figure it out or just boldly asking, right? Don't assume. Assumptions in a relationship leads to a lot of fights. Don't assume the other person knows what you want. Speak up. That doesn't just go for relationships. That goes for everybody in your life, right? Don't assume the other person knows what you want. Speak up. Speak up. Because then at least if you speak up, they can never say, you never said. I spoke up. I said it. You just weren't listening. Let's go to the next one. Assumptions comes from the fear to ask questions. Assumptions comes from the fear to ask questions. I know people don't like to be questioned, but at the end of the day, would you rather have the truth or would you rather just keep assuming, which is just going to cause problems anyways? Does that make sense? Don't assume everyone sees life like you do, right? Don't assume everyone sees life like you do, because they don't. They don't. This is one of the hardest things for me is that I know most people don't see the world like me. So it gets to a point where it gets a little irritating, annoying, and that's when you start to want to make assumptions and this whole drama happens, right? Don't assume everyone sees the world like you. Most people reject themselves before they allow others to. I'm going to say that again. Most people reject themselves before they allow others. Not good. This is all about you. What's up, Kathleen? What's up, Charlotte? Love won't change a person. Love won't change a person. Remember that. Giving a person more love won't change them. People change because you want to, or because they want to, not that you want them to. You understand that? You guys read this book, man. The 4 Agreements. Live it. Live it. I've been practicing this every day since I've had all my trauma. And it's out. Ask for what you want. Ask for what you want. The world's not going to give you anything. You ask. And the answer is always no if you don't ask. Ask for what you want. You're allowed to do that. When you're dealing with people, you're allowed to ask, this is what I want. This is what I like. This is what I don't like. Right? You're allowed to do that. I think we don't. We let people do whatever they want because we don't want to cause any problems. Right? But you're only causing problems with yourself by not doing that. No assume equals not having an impeccable word. By assuming, you're not having an impeccable word with yourself and with others because you assume what others, you think others do and don't do. Ask, man. Ask and you shall receive. Information or an idea is merely the seed in your mind. Information or an idea is just merely a seed in your mind. That's it. So here's two things. You could either live with white magic, right? We'll call it magic. Creation, giving, sharing, loving, right? Or you can live with black magic. Drama, opinions, assumptions, anger, envy, jealousy, and hate. Right now, if you have any of those, only you control to continue to have those. Whether that's drama, opinions, assumptions, anger, envy, jealousy, or hate. Only you can control those emotions. No one else can do that for you. You can have people around you that live in that life, but you also get to choose whether you allow them to bring you into their world or to live in your world, which is love, peace, and chicken grease. Just joking. Number 4 is always do your best, meaning that do your best to work on these 3 things. Being impeccable with your word with yourself and others. Don't taking anything personal, and don't make any assumptions anymore. Have some communication, man. That's what the problem with this world is today. We do everything through text. This is why I send voice notes, because I don't want you to think I said or what I didn't say because you didn't hear me say it personally. Because you never know how many fights have we've had, or we assume someone said something or it was anger that came out of that text because of the way it was worded. We do this shit all the time. No one calls anymore. No one talks anymore. No one communicates by voice anymore. Everyone does everything through text. This is why we have so many problems in this world, because we all living on freaking reading text. We don't know what that person's feeling or saying when they say it. Always do your best, which simply just means doing your best means you won't judge yourself. If you don't judge yourself, you eliminate guilt, blame, and self-punishment. Doing your best means you won't judge yourself. If you don't judge yourself, you will eliminate guilt, blame, and self-punishment. Live, love, happiness. Action creates happiness. Listen to what I'm saying. Most people only take action when there's a reward. You feel me? People only take action when there's something in it for them. That's a problem. That's a problem. People work for the reward, not the satisfaction. People work for the reward, not the satisfaction. That's why most people hate their job, because they're doing it for a paycheck. They're not doing it for the love of the work or because they're satisfied with what they do. They have to work to pay bills, and that's why they do it. They're unhappy because when they get the money, it's already gone. You know who I'm talking about. Learn from your mistakes means you practice. I'm the first one to say that I messed up many times. Many times. I made so many mistakes in my life that it made me who I am. To know that that's not good, that's not cool, shouldn't do that. Not perfect. If you take actions because you have to, then no way you can do your best. If you have to, if it's forced, No way you can do your best. Action is about living fully. Fully. Got it? Inaction is denying life. TV is denying life. Inaction is denying life. TV is denying life. Right? For you guys, for you that believe in God, God is life. God is the life in action. Let go of the past. It's life. Let go of the past. It's life. Not living in the now is living in the past. I'm a true believer. When you live in the past, you have resentment. When you live in the future consistently, you have anxiety. And what I mean by that is always worry about what's going to happen next. When you're not living in the now, you're killing your peace. That's why people go to drugs and alcohol and party and do all the things they do and have the vices, because when they do those things, they live in the now and it feels good. So they don't have to worry about yesterday. They don't have to worry about tomorrow. You feel me? You don't have to do that. You don't have to be on drugs to do that. That's just let go of the past. It's life. And living in the now is all you need to do. Living right now. Today. And when you do this, it leads to self-pity, suffering, and tears. When you live in the past and the future. Especially when you live in the past, it leads to self-pity, suffering, and tears. Say no and yes when you want to. I'm going to say that again. Say no and yes when you want to. We're willing to say yes when it's something we want, but we're not willing to say no when it's something we don't want. Why? Why not? It's your life. It's your world. Everyone else is just living in it. And if your world is messed up with all the things that we're talking about, drama, envy, is because you allow that into your world. I'm sorry. And people wonder why I cut off people so easy, because I'm not going to let you ruin my world. Because I'm always wanting to live in the now. I want to have fun, love. I want to be experiencing, sharing. I want to do something exciting today. Right? An expression of God is to say, I love you. I know a lot of people that claim that they are believers of God, but I don't see no love coming from them. A lot of hate, a lot of judging, a lot of things that are just not in line with what that word talks about. You guys got to be escape from hell on earth by living in the now. Reward to transcend the humane experience of suffering to become the embodiment of God. So let me talk about a couple more things. I'll end this video. And if you guys didn't get to watch it yet, please do yourself a favor, read this book, or I kind of gave you like the cliff notes of the book in my own words and expression. I hope it hit home. Freedom has to do with spirit, the freedom to be who you really are. Freedom has to do with spirit, the freedom to be who you really are. A lot of people don't want me to be who I really am. And that's why those people don't deserve to be in my life. Sorry. Freedom is to be a free child again, having fun. No past, no future, just right now. If you ever associate with me, I'm always living in the now. That's for sure. That is for sure. Judge, victim, belief systems. Think about that. The real you is still a little child who never grew up. The real you is a child that just never grew up. Not worrying about past or future is childlike. That's why children are happy. They living. It's only us stupid adults that ruin their happiness because we bring their drama, our drama and shit on them when they're just living for the now. They're not worried about tomorrow. They're not worried about yesterday. They're living today. That's why I like hanging out with children. They're the most fun to hang out with. Hanging out with adults, it's going to be drama, bullshit, gossiping, anger, shit talk. You guys know what I'm talking about. Now, most people please to be accepted by others. Stop being a people pleaser. It's something I tell my daughter a lot because there's some people in her life that try to make her become a people pleaser. You don't have to please nobody. You just got to please what you want. Please yourself. You don't need to worry about what others want you to be. It's what you desire and who you are. Right? Master awareness, transformation, intent. Be aware. Okay? Be aware. I think people get mad because I'm very aware of how things go and how people act and patterns. And I've met so many people. So when I meet someone, I kind of know their forte, and they hate it. Domestication is sick. We are at war with our minds, addicted to anger, jealousy, and self-pity. Take control of your emotions. You can feel a presence of a parasite and think it's you. So, we are pure light and love. We are the mirrors of each other's minus the smoke. I hope you guys learned from this video. I hope it hit you guys as much as it hit me. And if you guys ever want to have a conversation more about these things, just inbox me and let me know. But I did this video for everybody else, for everybody that's living in some kind of pain or suffering, living in the past, worried about the future, man. Live right now. And when you do live right now, be impeccable with your word. Don't take anything personal. Don't make assumptions. And always do your best. Talk to y'all later.